Day 10 of my Dark Souls 2 diaries, and not pictures here, but I have been back to the beach with the trolls from the tutorial level because I became transfixed by them, and wondered if now that I've left the Covenant of Champions, which seemed to be blocking a lot of the online stuff, I thought that maybe it might now allow me to do some cool online thing, but it didn't, of course. It just, I've worked it out now, it does change your gender. It's literally a sex box. It's a sex box on a beach. Changes your sex. Anyway, I'm back at the last Bastille now. The Lost de Bastille. I got briefly terrified by some explodey bastards and made my way up to the Sinner's Rise, which is, I don't know, I mean, just everyone here seems fairly well behaved. I mean, no more badly behaved than anyone else I've met in this game, so I've already been here before, as you may have seen in an earlier video. I was actually helping out some other dudes in one of my kind of brief periods of trying to be a nice guy. So I'm not too worried about this boss, so I summoned a bunch of dudes. So this is Bouncy Bastard Bangkok Wolf, who sadly died. And then we've got Bouncy Bastard Astaire, who also came down and died. And I just basically died a lot, actually. At one point I decided to try and take on this guy, the Sinner himself, on my own. And I thought, I will be invincible if I use electricity power on my wooden sort of stick, but it didn't pan out, and I died. I died a lot. And one of my favourite things that happened today, though, actually, was it's one of these tiny things that I always forget to mention of being a real part of what Dark Souls is really about. And this was a small but lovely moment of shared fear when I hopped off the lift that goes down onto this ledge to get an item, and then found myself on this little ledge, surrounded by lots of other blood patches where other people had died, and thinking, is it possible for me to get down without dying? And realising that many other people had been in this exact same position and shared this despair. Luckily, I managed it, where others hadn't. And eventually, with the help of some lovely magical chaps, to be honest, they mainly did it, we did kill the Sinner, the last Sinner. Sinner, sinner, chicken dinner. Oh yeah, and there was a bonfire in a big room. Lit it. Job done. Done some good stuff. I feel like a bit of a cheat sometimes. It's difficult with this, because sometimes the bosses, you kind of need help. Otherwise, they're really, really, really difficult. And other bosses, I feel like I've kind of cheated it. But anyway, see how I get on tomorrow. Day 11. I'm back in the Bastille. And a slight change to proceedings today. I've realised that I've been relying on my club quite a lot in the club, and I want to change it up a bit. So I've got this big bloody sword that I'm swinging around like nobody's bloody business. It's really good for taking out loads of people at once, and these explodey bastards in particular. Anyway, when I killed the last Sinner and won myself the chicken dinner, I got in a box a magical twiglet thing, the twig, and decided to use it on this chap up here, because it's like a twig that gets rid of petrification. And this guy's a dude who mainly seems to do spells, apparently, which is a bit of a kick in the chuffers, if I'm being completely honest, because I'm not really a magical man. So, yeah, that was a pain, but then I went back to Medulla, and I thought, right, this is going to be good, because I didn't know where to go now, but I thought, well, there's that lady near the start of the game who's pulling on a lever. Stop it, dirty mind. No, she is giving it a good tug, though, let's be honest. And I thought I can use the magical twiglet on her, and then I'll know where I'm going. I'll go through that door. But then it turns out that this magical twig was like a single-use item, and to be honest, I'm still kind of in a zone of frustration with this, because I know I haven't broken... I know I probably haven't broken the game, but I don't know where to go. I feel like I've been everywhere I can think of, and now I'm finding myself just running back through all the old areas I've been to, trying to see if I've missed a door or missed an avenue, in the same way that I did back in the kind of Giant's Playground, or whatever it was called. And yeah, really frustrating, because I really wish I hadn't used the magical twiglet on the dude in the black cloak in the first place. So I'm just wandering about now. I'm wandering about. I've got no idea where I'm supposed to go. I'm trying to do some good deeds, really. Wash a bit of that Rat King blood off my hands by helping out people with bosses that I fought ages ago. To be honest, I'm just, yeah. I've literally spent about an hour and a half today just walking around, looking at things, trying to work out where I'm supposed to go. I should probably use the internet, but I'm just a bit worried about spoilers. I've worked it out. Everybody stop panicking. I've worked it out. I had to go down the well again. I didn't realise that there was more down the well than ridiculous rat fun times. There was other things, and I'm now in a place called the gutter. And I was a bit worried about this because this is the phrase of a place that I've seen people murmuring about on the internet, going, "Oh, the gutter, oh!" And people had said that there was an area in the game that was just like Blighttown from Dark Souls, and I was like, "Oh, not Blighttown." And yeah, it's not really, because to be honest, the frame rate's all right for starters. I mean, it is like full of wood. It's like having a cataclysmic accident in a B&Q, just this sort of jaggy MDF nightmare. But it's not that bad. Like I say, like you can get around it without feeling like the camera's trying to destroy you, and the frame rate's all right. It does have these bloody little statues though. They're like Weebles or Russian dolls. I'm not fond of them at all, but there is a certain satisfaction to running around with a broadsword and just smashing them to pieces just because you can. But yeah, I'm not really that fussed about this. I actually, hand on heart, I got through this whole area today without being killed once. I got right down to the bottom, did not die once. It's not that bad. Chill out. But I did find something else at the bottom of this, and that is a bit more, that's a bit more troublesome, I've got to be honest. Now this place is a bit like the chemical zone from Sonic 2, except because I haven't summoned anyone in, I haven't got anyone to be my tails and to run ahead and get killed by Dr. Robotnik, or in this case, killed by horribly toxic statue bastards and these weird little claw hand things that remind me of baddies from Zelda. I wasn't that afraid of these dudes, to be honest. I managed to kill them quite easily using a halberd. I realised a halberd was really useful here, not for the enemies, but actually for the statues, because you can poke them from such a distance that you can actually destroy the little statues without actually setting them off. Not just a pretty face and chainmail armour. No, yeah, so I continue with that. And it was alright, this area. It kind of frightened me. It didn't kill me too much. I think it killed me once because I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, there was a boss at the end of it. But the boss was actually, I've got to be honest, pretty shit. Like, it was this big blobby dude, and I had some help, had a summon, but it wasn't very difficult. It was just sort of a bit of a choppy chop. It's a weird one, this. I am enjoying Dark Souls 2, and don't get me wrong, it's still a better game than most games. It's not a bad game by any means, but it's very, like, patchy. I mean, this boss is just a bit of shit. Sorry. No, sorry, guys, but it is a bit of shit. Anyway, I've heard that the later stages of the game are actually far more exciting, so I'm going to press on and see what happens. Day 13, I'm sorry, I'm back in the rat place. I've got a problem, I can admit that, I've got a problem. It's not, I don't mean to be like this person, but I am, and I can't change it. I'm sorry. There was this wonderful one moment, though, where this guy really thought he was going to get away. Look at him going through the, no, you're not, sunshine, you're dead. Rat King, Rat King, Rat King! That's it, though, that's it. I promise, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop doing rat stuff. I'm going to carry on. I can be a better person. I don't need to keep doing this. I don't need to keep doing this.